Hi, welcome to the Celebrity Gossip channel. In this video I'm going to be talking about Coachella getting dragged for having a very mid and boring lineup. I'm also going to be talking about why can naming Nicki Minaj's upcoming documentary as a series that you should watch in 2023 in stream. Then later on I'm also going to be talking about there being a video that went viral of Nicki Minaj's unreleased pink print Air Jordans. If you are interested in this video, keep watching. Nearly a decade now, 9 years ago, when Nicki was in her pink print era, apparently she got a deal with Nike. And obviously, as you know, a lot of artists get brand deals and sometimes they don't necessarily go through. But apparently, there was a video that went viral just a few days ago of a shoe with the pink print design, like the logo that she had on her album. That same design was on the shoe. But of course, the shoe was created, but it obviously never was officially released. So a lot of fans were very confused about that because just like them, I was literally thinking that shoe could have been very successful. Because if you know Nicki, you know that she has a history of wearing brands and clothes, and as soon as she wears them, they tend to spike in sales. Like for example, right, when she wore those pink Crocs about in 2021, so that's about 2 years ago now. After her long hiatus, when she was doing the whole Beam Me Up Scotty re-release, she wore pink Crocs, and after she posted that picture on her Instagram, it literally increased in sales. So she has a history of doing that because a lot of people think that, well, she is influential, but yeah, a lot of people obviously believe and know that she's very influential, not just in music but also in fashion as well, because she's known as being a trendsetter. She set loads of fashion trends. So I do believe, had that deal actually gone through, it might have actually been like a female version of Wheezy. So I do kind of think that was a loss on both Nike and Nicki's end, because I'm not really confused why that deal didn't go through. Maybe they didn't like the design of the shoe, because that wouldn't really make any sense to me. That shoe could have been very successful, because I've always wondered, right? We all know obviously she's a trendsetter, right? But at times I have wondered, why doesn't she like dabble in that fashion industry? Because I do believe if she did, the same way Rihanna has, I feel like Nicki could be a billionaire. I do, because she's a trendsetter and people want to look like her. There are a lot of people that are inspired by her looks and her wigs and stuff like that. So I feel like if she was to do more deals like that and have her own hairline or makeup line or clothing line or something like that, I feel like she could earn a lot of money from that. So yeah, but anyway, moving on from that. So obviously, as you know, Nicki did announce her documentary in about 2018. That's when she first announced it. Then in 2020, she then talked about how HBO would be airing the documentary on the platform, on the channel. But the issue is, ever since then, we haven't really been given as much detail about it as we would want. Last October, November, something like that. I could be wrong, but around the end of last year, she posted a trailer of the documentary, and talked about how it would be coming soon. But the issue with that is, just like her fans, I knew that was going to be a problem, because I wasn't necessarily convinced that it would be as soon as we wanted it to be. Because we've been waiting for that documentary now for about 5 years, for a good 5 years. So I wasn't really expecting it to be out as quick as I wanted it to be. Because even though I do like Nicki, I do feel like at times she can be a bit late with timing, right? I'll give you an example. Obviously she's had issues with her being on time to her shows. And obviously that can be a little bit frustrating for the fans, right? Because you got to think, if you're a fan who's travelling hours and hours to see her, that does tend to piss off her fans. I have seen and heard them complain about that. So even though they may like her, at times, even me as well, I have to be honest, sometimes her timing is just a bit off at times. Another example, when she did the Good For music video with Dwayne back in 2018, she put the video out in November, like October, November 2018, right? But that is a very upbeat dance song. That song should have been out in the summer. you know, because it's a dance song. You obviously wouldn't put a Christmas song in July, now would you? You know, so why would you put a dance song in the winter? Because obviously during that time of the year, people aren't really listening to summer dance songs. You know, they be listening to those Christmas songs. So that's what the issue is. I feel like sometimes her timing is a bit off, and I do feel like that's why she needs new management. But anyway, moving on from that. Speaking of new management, she has been rumored to be seeking new management. So there was this management company called Range Media that apparently they were saying that Nicki had signed to, but apparently she's not actually officially signed to them because the people at Republic they basically let it known that she's not signed with them. However, she's still looking for management, so she's still in talks and seeking for new management. I feel like her getting new management is good because, like I said, I do feel like there's certain areas, just like every other artist, that she could focus on. Because I do feel like when she goes on tour this year, she can't be late to her shows. Because I remember last time that happened during the Queen tour, people were not happy about that. They got very pissed off, and even some of her concerts were even cancelled as well. Which, if I'm not mistaken, she did say she was having issues, lighting issues, sound issues, stuff like that, which I understand. But you know, she often gets a lot of criticism, and I do think if she wants her album rollout and you know her going on tour and stuff like that, she has to be on time for her shows. She has to know when to drop the right song. You can't drop a dance song in the summer because Good Form is a very good song. You know, it's a very good song, but I do kind of feel like the way they pushed that song, it just wasn't good. You know, like you don't listen to dance songs during winter. But yeah, I heard apparently a few years ago Jay-Z wanted to sign Nicki to Rock Nation, and so I think he even said that in her song Bad Meeting. She said, Jay's still the only Edward that I would assign to if I ain't say the way he's perfectly designed crew. So she was obviously saying that Jay-Z tried to sign her. But apparently I heard a rumor that he is also eyeing her in terms of, you know, wanting to manage her. I do feel like that would be a good idea, only because Jay-Z is a gatekeeper in Hollywood. So those certain, you know, issues that she might have with the Grammys and YouTube, Jay-Z knows those people. He has a good rapport with the Grammys. Not only that, he also has a good rapport with the person at YouTube that allegedly messing with her numbers. He knows those people because he's a gatekeeper. So I do feel like if she signs to them, he might help them mend those relationships, which obviously is a win-win. Because then, you know, the Grammys will be on her ass trying to stop her, and YouTube will be out here allegedly taking away 70 million worth of her views. So I feel like that might be a good idea. And she might not have to be managed by them very long. It's just I just want that sabotaging by the Grammys and YouTube to stop. So I do feel like it would be a good idea for Rock Nation to manage her. But then she can obviously leave after they help her, you know, with those issues or dilemmas that she's had in the industry. But yeah, moving on, a few days ago, Coachella announced their lineup. And a lot of fans weren't really happy with the lineup. Some people kind of felt like the lineup looked a bit dead and just not, you know, very exciting. That I will agree myself. I was a little bit disappointed, only because I was hearing rumors that Rihanna and Drake could be headlining. So when I looked at the lineup and saw this, I was just like, what is this? Like, they were having Beyonce headline at one time, you know. So when you go from that to this, it's just like it is a bit of a downgrade, not gonna lie. But yeah, so Blackpink is headlining from Saturday the 15th to the 22nd. Then Frank Ocean is headlining from Sunday the 16th to the 23rd. And apparently the first headliner is Bad Bunny. He headlines the show first. So obviously I did talk about how there were rumors that that Bad Bunny was going to headline. So apparently that rumor was true. But some fans were saying, or some people were speculating that apparently Rihanna did turn down Coachella, but I wouldn't really understand why she turned that down, because that's kind of, I feel like that's something she would do. I can kind of see her doing Coachella more than the Super Bowl. I don't know why. I don't know why, but I feel like her doing Coachella kind of makes more sense than her doing the Super Bowl. So moving on from that, Nicki Minaj, a super freaky girl, officially being the longest running solo #1 debut by a female rapper in the Hot 100 history, surpassing the legend Lauryn Hill's Do Up That Thing for 22 weeks, right? So obviously, as you know, Super Freaky Girl debuted at #1 in August of last year, and it's obviously become, you know, a huge hit since, you know, spent over 10 weeks in the top 10, 15 weeks in the top 20, etc., and it's gone, you know, #1 across the globe and stuff like that. So, and Super Freaky Girl was actually the first song by a female rapper to debut at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 since the Lauryn Hill song Do Up That Thing. And now Super Freaky Girl has now actually surpassed it as being the longest running #1 debut on the Billboard Hot 100. So congrats to Nicki for that, because that's not been done in over 20 years. So that's an incredible accomplishment. So congrats to her for that. Anyway, the topic I want to talk about is about... So Cardi B was back in front of the judge in her strip club beatdown case after failing to start community service portion of her plea deal. So TMZ ended up reporting Cardi B was back in front of the judge in her strip club beatdown case after failing to start the community service of her plea deal, and now she's got a new deadline. The whack rapper or reciter showed up to Tuesday to a courthouse in Queens, where the judge gave Cardi until the 1st of March to complete her sentence, which includes 15 days of community service. As we reported, Cardi copped a plea deal back in September, pleaded guilty to third-degree assault and reckless endangerment, both misdemeanors, and received 15 days of community service as part of the plea deal. Drew Finding, who reps Cardi, tells TMZ personally and professionally Cardi is dedicated to community service and charitable endeavors. She therefore appreciates the court giving her until March the 1st to complete her community service commitment in Queens, New York. We're told Cardi will be doing community service this week. Right, so a lot of Cardi B supporters were bringing up the fact that, you know, her and Offset did recently lose Takeoff. So some of them kind of felt like that may be why she might not have had time to do the community service, because obviously they've experienced a huge loss, which is true. Because obviously, you know, that can obviously really affect the family, especially if that's a loved one. But I don't think, I'm not trying to sound insensitive here, but I don't think that's the only reason. I feel like, you know, the situation with Takeoff might, you know, might be a reason to an extent, but I don't think it's the full reason to why she's not done it. I just don't think she really cares. I don't think she cares like that. So I just don't think she actually cares enough. So I feel like that's why. So some people feel like she's getting away with basically breaking the law. Now they've got a point, because if this was, you know, some regular person, they would be in jail. They would not be getting those second chances. But you got to understand, at the end of the day, sometimes these celebrities, they get away with certain things because they have money. Now, at the end of the day, she's going to have to understand that you can't always get away with that, because look at Andrew Tate. It don't matter how much money you have, okay, eventually it's going to come back to bite you. Because you've obviously seen how problematic Cardi B is, and I'm not convinced that this will be her last legal issue. I'm not wishing that on her, but I'm not convinced she knows how to stay out of trouble. Because even after the situation happened, she was trying to have a fight with Malibu Mitch. So I'm not convinced that she knows how to stay out of trouble. So that's all in this video. If you like the video, please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.